Okay, so Kat,
Mhm.
you're the only person here currently. I'm sure John will join us shortly. Um, so I'm gonna have you head south, unless you have something else you want to prepare or discuss. The assumption is that you're getting on Munch. You may or may not be packing your entire alchemist set. If you keep them lighter, you'll travel faster, of course. Um, but if you don't take your entire alchemist pack, then it's assumed that you're going to want to prepare some amount of materials before you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
Hey,
I
Kat.
feel like, hey, I feel like if we're traveling for weeks, even if it would be at a slower pace, just because I have no bearing on what I would need, I think she would probably pack up the whole thing.
Okay. Fair enough. So the length of time that I gave you is correct then. The other option that you have as well is to take an actual float, one of the rafts, with you as well. That would need to be dragged and then obviously maneuvered whenever you come across like impasses.
Hmm.
That would increase your length.
Yeah, no.
No. Okay. So no fast way down. We're just going. All right. So the length of time
Yeah,
is once
no.
again not increased, not decreased. Johnny boy, you could uh portal and go get Cat, or did you send a message?
I still haven't figured out if magic is a-okay here. To I'm not gonna be
Correct.
hunted down as a witch. Um, I would leave a message.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you guys want to do before we resume? We're gonna be resuming at if you look at the little player map that I made you guys. This is just like an idea map, right? It's something to give you some amount of bearing. Um,
Which
but
section is it in again?
At Sorrow's March and John Cat and Lear chat, you'll see Castle Sorrow, and then Bladefall Pool, which is to the southeast um of the Castle Sorrow. So you guys will be resuming there. Cat, it's presumed that you cross the river somewhere nearby, cross the forest, and then get to Castle Sorrow, where you meet up with John, and then John brings you up the main path, the main road, and then to the west from there into the little highlands. The little light brown, that's
Okay.
highlands. The dark brown is mountains.
Gotcha.
Mhm. Um,
What did the
does
note
that sound good?
say?
Do we want to leave Munch, for example, and your supplies at Castle Sorrow?
Yeah, if that's a safe place for them. I'm just curious what
Uh,
exactly the note from Jonathan said.
So it would have said in your guys' Shadowlands written language that that he has a his friend, so his like or his knight is lost in combat essentially, and he wants to go look for him. So he's requesting your aid. Is that okay, or would you have needed more convincing?
No, I think that's fine.
Okay, this is the
Um,
same soldier knight you believe to be the one that escorted you to the village and allowed you to do the to get Munch.
okay.
Mhm.
oh, Munch is the donkey.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything? Feel free to discuss out of game anything that you want to do up to this point, gathering
I
supplies or whatever.
I would like to have had a few of those crystals and go up to that guy that was in charge and just ask him um how
Okay,
he
I
wants
can
to
see
handle
that the
it.
sarcasm was lost, John. Kat, when you arrive, you can very much tell that he is the one in charge. Do you tell him? Do you
I
let him
am.
know? He's like very nervously like going around asking people for permission, and they're all just doing exactly as he says.
Gotcha. I
Master of
think she
Scrolls, of course,
just,
sir. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
She would just kind of like wait, I think. Like, okay, I'm going to observe this. Like, do the people seem like afraid of him or
No,
just like,
they treat him
okay.
kindly. But yeah, so anything you guys prepare now? So we're saying we're leaving Munch at the castle,
Yep.
and John, you get all of her things packed into your like one of your rooms.
Yeah, I make sure that she has all of her stuff put away, except for living animals in the library.
Okay.
Um,
You're okay with storing your stuff in the castle, Cat? It's like a legit like castle, like military structure.
yeah, I feel like Song is fairly overwhelmed. She's never been in a place with so many humans.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Also,
claustrophobic, and you get called foul blood a lot.
Whoa, that's a no-no.
You hear it like here and there.
I look at those people, like, shake my head at them, like, no.
John's
Just
making a
no.
scene. we're not
Sternly
we're not
and
even
keep
playing
moving.
yet. John's making a scene.
Yes, I just look at them sternly, shake my head no, and keep moving.
Oh, okay. He's not making a scene.
I mean, every time she hears that, she kind of like shrinks a little. Like,
Mhm. But yeah, do we are we we're saying that we do go into the castle though, right?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So you store your things inside the castle. The people are a little bit kinder to you. They're very curious about you, Kat. They would ask random questions. They would be asking in Imperial though. I don't believe you understand Imperial.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I would be translating a little bit and
So
explain where
so you
preparing
understand that
for.
this is the speech, Cat, that your grandmother spoke.
Oh, okay.
You like so you like hear it. It's kind of cool to hear it, other than from your grandmother, but you don't really know what it means.
Yeah.
He tells you what they mean. Do you play
Yeah,
the
I
translation
translate.
games?
Yeah, I play the translation games. If
No, I'm saying does Cat care to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It kind of is helpful to be able to understand what
yeah,
people
at first,
I
like, in good
so
mask. Like, would you like
yeah.
me to translate for you?
Yeah. And she'd say, like, because she understood that the connotation, like the sound of the names that people were calling her was negative, she'll ask you what that means.
No, some of them were talking in Shadowlands. You would have actually understood Foul Blood.
Oh, okay.
Just it seems like a lot of the people that belong to the castle talk Imperial instead.
Okay.
But yeah, so you store all your things. You have some random like passerby conversations with some of the affiliated crew. You saw all of the knighted like the armored knights outside that exist. They're like defending the wall. There's a bunch of collapsed dead people along the parapets and the ramparts. Um,
What?
yeah, this is wartime, Johnny.
No.
And Johnny's over here safely nested in the little castle, talking about how he's gonna go save his knight friend.
I mean,
You see him in his
if
nice new clothes. It's all
if there are
fresh and pristine.
people if there are people here that are like heavily wounded, like Song will offer to help them.
Oh yeah, you go out to the there's essentially like a homeless shelter all along the outside of the wall where they've built, these kind of like military tentish structure where they have a lot of sick people and refugees.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
where you go.
she would kind of look at Jonathan and say, "These people need help. Are you helping them?"
This is the first I found out about that. Let's take care of that a little bit. To myself, do we have enough food to feed people and all that other stuff? Can we?
Uh, so it depends on how you view it. Your character can do the math. How are you viewing this?
You cut out.
I said, it depends on how you view it. Your character can do the math quickly in his head. What are you sorting through?
Um, sustainability.
Okay, so yeah, if you fed literally every mouth that's still here, you would have enough food for maybe 3 days or so. If you fed only essentials, and essentials being anyone that actually like Lord Sorrow's personal staff and soldiers, then you could last out for maybe a month.
Um, Song, do you know where some trees with fruit would be that we can use to help feed them?
Cat, your character
You said
does
it's
think about
winter.
the yeah, your it is winter, but cat your character thinks about the natural herbs and things that she finds in her forest, but it's like very far away.
Yeah. I think the song would say, I don't know these lands. If we were home, I could teach people for what to forage, but the the forest is different here.
All right, here's the dilemma. If we were to feed everyone here, um, we would only have food that would last us 3 days.
Are are any of these people able to fend for themselves or find more food in the forest? Maybe they know.
So Kat, something I failed to mention is on your way in, when you passed the forest, you saw a lot of the fields that were had, and a lot of they're like farmland, which is kind of new to you. You haven't really seen farmland, right? But
Yeah.
it was impressive, but it's all been harvested. So you suspect that John's talking about all of the recently harvested goods.
I think that she would just like she'd say I could go look in the forest and see what is forageable and then show others how to do that. It's not the season for fruit trees.
Kat, just to remain on character, I believe that you are good spirited and natured in this way that you're describing, but would you be as good natured in this way towards the people who called you like foul blood, a clear derogatory term? Wouldn't you be more impish?
Um, Maybe I think it depends. If it's I don't feel like it was the people who were sick who were calling me that, right?
You don't know. It was the people generally in the courtyard. So some of those might have
Oh,
been
okay.
you're not sure if they are different. Some of them might have been the kind of folk that you're trying to help right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm just making sure you're cycling that in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that she would still offer aid because just because they're being jerks doesn't mean that she has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they also haven't done anything to like try to harm her. Like it's a little different than.
Sure. So the other point still remains. So you're valuing the good of the many over the good of the one that's actually personally aided you.
No, no. Okay. I'm just trying to think of like.
You're not taking one person's actions as everyone's actions. It's like not looking at it as like, since one person treat me like trash, all those people associated with them are also trash.
We've already
Is
established
the way you're
that.
not feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he's more
Okay.
saying that because you're the one who helped me, I'm.
Well, no, specifically his soldier, John's
Mm-hmm.
personal soldier, helped you, and he's the one who's missing. He's like somewhere lost in the front lines.
Okay, yeah, I think. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Um, Song's gonna say, when we get back, I'll forage in the forest and teach others to find edibles that way. It might extend your stores that you can help some of these people. Um,
Okay.
but for now, let's focus on finding your knight.
Uh, Night.
Yeah,
Knight, guy,
Davos.
Davos.
Oh.
Oh,
I
oh
think
no.
we had a misunderstanding. I'm trying to get Lord Sorrow back. Uh, Davos, I can uh open a portal to him right away. I have a general idea of where he's at. Would you still be willing to help me?
I don't know anything about Lord Sorrow, but you're asking for a favor and you did help me.
Mhm.
I appreciate it. Um,
It's gonna be you're gonna be going to the Bladefall pool,
alright.
so you know where it's at on the
Approximately how
map.
many days? Yeah, approximately how many days are we looking?
It just kind of depends on what you come across. It can be short, it can be long. It depends how careful you're being. You can take the main road south and then head east. That would be your fastest method. You could technically like go to the forest and then hug the forest all the way down, and then that can be that will take you. It's shorter for Cat, but longer for you, for example.
Yeah, but she would be able to be in her element in a sense.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, the road's better for you. Less so for her. It just depends how you're trying to travel.
yeah,
Hmm.
I want to travel safe. What are you feeling, Kat?
I can disguise myself as a human child if need be.
Well, I'm going to roll for luck on a safe journey, and we are going
All
to
right, go ahead and roll
go.
that d12.
Yeah, we're going to go down the main road and then cut in. Is
So
I'm rolling for.
he describes a laid path, fully bricked, that you will be traveling on. It's like fairly flat. It kind of is similar to the brickwork that they have in the castle. He says it's called a road.
All right, fingers crossed.
Gotcha.
11.
Supposedly that's the exact kind of thing you would want to have for your alchemist caravan. Like the road sounds perfect for that.
Okay. She kind of marvels at that. She's like, I didn't know those existed.
Is this real? Nice, 11.
Feels so good to roll good.
Do you transform yourself into a child cat or do you stay in your human form? Also, what potions do you have prepared? What are you bringing?
Right, the
I feel like she would have 3 of the regular shape changing ones.
Okay.
A couple health potions, 1 like super health potion.
Oh, you go ahead and prepare one of the super ones?
Yeah.
All right, John, you see it.
She doesn't.
You
she
see it,
doesn't
John.
notice.
You see it.
Well, there was still some left from the previous.
You see it, John. It's the
what?
it's
To
the
heal
one.
my arm?
It's the one.
Nope. 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 I have plans for this stub. This nub.
All right. But yeah, okay. So you said you have some from the last batch.
Just pointing out
Yeah,
that was a
because
sneaky
you
snake
said
bite.
that one batch makes 3, correct?
Oh, okay, yeah. So you have 2 more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I would leave 1 with Munch, and then I would take 1 to use in case of dire emergencies, because I don't know
Okay.
what we're walking into.
What
And then I have 2 regular healing potions and a couple of.
are these? Are these vials or are they flasks? Do we know? Did we ever
Well,
specify?
we never specified, but I think the health potions need to be in the super special flasks or the vial, sorry.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they are made in the thing. And then yeah, the regular shape changing ones would be just in regular small flasks. That she would have. Those don't need to be in the fancy stuff.
Okay. In this instance, we'll go ahead and cheat a little bit. We'll say that one of your nephews is like a glass blower, so he forges you some cat made glass or like flake glass flasks. Jesus Christ, that's hard to say.
Okay. Yeah, I'll trade him for like shape changing things or whatever, like in exchange for that. Like I'll make him just the regular ones that allow you to change shape for a couple hours.
Sure.
Before we head out, I also want to make sure I have a water flask and rations.
You have a water pouch, yes.
And week's rations.
The water pouch will hold you for a day. Kat, by the way, if you want your character to start focusing on learning Imperial, you may give that command. Otherwise, I'm
Okay,
assuming
yeah.
your character is not interested.
Yes, sorry, she is.
Okay.
I think that it's just something that she's content to kind of pick up over time because she's still in the Shadowlands, and Shadowlands is still the language that she hears the most, but she is definitely interested because that's a language that her grandmother speaks.
Okay. Do you indeed transform into a little girl?
I do.
Okay.
We are good to go.
Travel on the road.
Yep.
11 extra luck roll on top of this.
Yep.
So,
want to be my sister or my daughter, if anyone asks.
Sister
old
makes
is
more
he?
sense.
Sister makes more sense.
16.
It'd be kind of awkward for you to have had a child at 10. Not impossible, just awkward. But yeah. So you guys arrive. So you travel on the road. There's a lot of refugees on the road, like left and right of it, right? Kind of just camped. They're taking breaks or regathering supplies, looking for lost ones, right? Waiting for their uncle or something. As you pass through those places, Kat, presumably you're like checking up on people, making sure they don't have any quick fix that they need, right?
Hmm.
So you get to practice a little bit of the Imperial. You learn a few basic words. And John, are you looking out for anything? Presumably, you're just kind of like generally looking for danger, just because I imagine you're pretty scared.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be keeping people at a distance, making sure they're not going to stab me.
So John's like staying center to the road at all times, Cat. Like if he takes one step to the left or one to the right, it's because there's someone a little bit scarier than the unknown on either
Oh,
side,
okay.
right? But John, you do pick up on rumors of a abandoned or soldiers who abandoned their posts. Um, they may have turned into a life of crime. Who knows, right? They're just gone, supposedly. Um,
Gotcha.
as you guys finally make your way fairly quickly and start to approach Bladefall Pool, which is off of the road, right? You guys end up venturing out, and you follow the soldiers' paths, the ones that they made, kind of marching out here.
Mm-hmm.
You ultimately arrive at the campsite. You can see the Lord Sorrow's banner flying, and all of his associated soldiers. Two scouts end up like approaching all from behind, so they like kind of jumped at you, if you will.
Yep.
So they say, "Halt!" in Imperial.
I halt and make sure my sister stops. Also,
Okay.
Yeah, like a step behind. Like I hear the noise and I'm like turning to look, but I'm still moving forward for a second and then I stop.
The two soldiers, one steps in front and said with his bow aimed at y'all, and he says, it's aimed specifically at John.
mm-hmm.
And he says, behind a cowl, "What business have you? You look like civilians. Why aren't you fleeing?"
I am the Master of Scrolls that has been at Lord Sorrow's castle. I'm looking for him so I may be able to provide first aid and a little bit more help.
"The Master of Scrolls? I've heard of you. Why aren't you at the castle?"
Because I heard that he was injured. I brought someone here to help heal.
He puts down his bow and kind of approaches. "Someone being the girl?" He looks
If
at
not,
you
yes,
incredulously,
he's an
Cat.
expert.
You understand like words here and there, the simple ones.
Believe it or not, yes, she healed my voice.
She'll
I
say
had
in like as you're kind of like explaining to him because she kind of picked up the gist. She'll just say in like really broken Imperial, "Yes, can heal."
"Well, Master Scrolls, I see you're the legend in flesh. We did send out a notice that Lord Sorrow had been stricken, but I didn't expect anyone to actually take it earnestly. Please
oh,
go ahead and head in. Lord Sorrow is in the largest war tent, healing, sitting with his wound. We dare not touch him, or we haven't dared touch him. But perhaps you two can do something. Good luck."
could you inform us of how he came to be injured as we start walking?
He says, "I have duties to perform too, but the people over there should be able to tell you."
Understood. Understood. I make sure to translate anything I need to, or pretty much everything of how it happened to Cat to make sure he gains the best, um,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call it, best healing possibilities.
So, Kat, as you enter into this work camp, you can see that a lot of the knights are like weary, and a lot of them are sad, right? They're kind of like, just generally dismayed. And then, John, as you're looking around, you can see that they still have quite a bit of supplies and extra armaments that they've gathered from the battlefield. So they have like a lot of extra like soldiering gear. Um,
Good.
you guys approach the main war tent, and one of the lieutenants who's sitting outside kind of like wipes his brow as he's been sitting there in the heat for a while. And he looks over at y'all. "Business?"
The heat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said
Oh,
business.
oh. I am the Master of Scrolls, bringing a healer to heal Lord Sorrow.
He looks over at you and then over to the girl. You mean the girl?
Yes, I
And
know. I've
heal.
had questions before. She's excellent.
Look, I don't know who you are, but you're not just gonna walk into Lord Sorrow's war tent while he's injured with claims of a little girl to heal.
I am the Master of Scrolls. I know her. She healed me myself.
Um, look, I've heard of you, but how do I even know that it is you? I'm not just gonna let anyone claiming to be the Master of Scrolls in.
Alright, I start reciting the last few reports that was sent to the castle that were supposed to be directly from um, Lord Sorrow to the castle.
Cat
Starting
John
with the
John just
most
starts like
immediate.
reciting stuff, and you can tell that the lieutenant is not impressed as he's doing so.
Um, Song will just like take out a dagger and cut
Oh!
her hand.
Okay. I was scared for a second. Like, don't attack him! I'm used to
Why
players
would I do
doing that. I'm used to players doing that,
I'm
okay?
not
I'm
a
sorry I had a
fucking-
PTSD moment.
That's not a you thing, Cat. That's a word you're used to it, Cat.
Oh.
That's fine. I'm not a fucking Chad who just fucking wants to be a murder hobo. I promise. Okay. Anyways, yeah, she just takes out. It's a tiny, like it's her little atham, like it's a tiny, non-threatening looking knife, and she draws it across her hand.
Mhm. You draw some blood.
And then she takes one of the small healing potions and just drinks it.
Okay. And you like hold out your hand as to reveal the healing.
Yeah.
All right. It seals in a light green glow. His eyes widen. And he says, "A wildkin, huh? Oh, why didn't you say so? All right. I'll let you in. See what you can do. But I warn you,
Thank you.
it's no ordinary wound he's dealing with." He opens the door and you guys are you can see him, right? He's basically like almost paralyzed in quotes. He's like statuesque. He has an arrow in his chest, so it's like pierced through his full plate. They've tried to like remove some of the things around him and kind of make him more comfortable, but he's like pinned in quotes. Lord Sorrow looks to y'all, and in Imperial he says, perhaps you can aid."
Is he pointing to me or to
He'd be looking at the tall guy in the room first, so you.
Oh,
Kat,
no,
as you approach, you can see that that this arrow, you can feel power coming off of it. It's strange. John, as you like kind of establish yourself in this room and like you look around mostly before you look at him, but you do answer him eventually. Kat, what are you doing this time?
Tell me what exactly happened and explain what's going on here. Obviously, you're covered in stone, but I need to at least translate for her so she can fully understand the situation.
He's not covered in stone.
Oh. So he's just pinned?
He's pinned by the arrow.
Oh.
It struck him through the chest.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
May I examine it?
Song will approach him as they're talking, just so she can kind of get a read on this energy that's coming off of it.
Yeah. Okay, so Johnny explains that a ranger struck him with an arrow, and Kat, while you're inspecting, you can see that this arrow is no ordinary arrow. It seems imbued, like enchanted.
Do I see or notice anything too, or no?
John, you're paying attention to the conversation mostly, but he tells you that the archer told him basically like if he removes the arrow, he dies. It didn't seem as though he was interested in killing the Lord Sorrow.
I translate.
So I'm just gonna clarify because.
Yep.
So Sorrow is in the tent and he's got an arrow through the middle of his chest.
Not the middle. I mean it's in his chest.
In his chest. Okay.
It's in his chest and it's pinning him to the ground. So it's like it's gone through him. He's mostly unarmored, right? It's just like that chest piece that's still in him or that's still on him.
Yeah, I still am really unfamiliar with like how my magic works because
take your time.
She's just been kind of experimenting with it. But could she try to use her magic to pull the enchantment?
So you like feel for the essence. Are you engaging your core? Or are you casting?
Yeah. Like she'll try without first, and then if that doesn't work, she'll try with.
Okay, so when
If
you
that
try
makes sense.
without, what is it exactly you're trying to do? Are you trying to cast with the
All right, I'm
magic
back.
that's there?
She's trying to pull the enchantment from the wood.
Okay, so when you interact with, are you casting through physical incantation or through inscription?
Uh, Currently incantation.
Okay,
Um,
so you
and
speak
then
some words, trying to get it to
mhm,
to the magic to lift off of the wood.
yeah.
And when you do so, you can feel your throat kind of clinging up and like catching. It's like as though
Okay.
the essence from that bow is like attacking you. I mean, not the bow, but the arrow.
Can she she'll kind of look at John and then look at Sorrow and say, I want to try something, but I don't know what the risks could be.
You're having trouble speaking. You feel like you could use some water.
Okay.
John, you
She'll
noticed
like
that when
she'll croak
she,
that out.
yeah, John, you noticed that when she attempted to like incant at the arrow, that some of the magic from the arrow attacked her. Essentially, she has like a blackened scar along her throat now.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Kat, you
I
do
I
manage to
I
wash
tell her
and be able to speak again.
I tell her don't touch the arrow. And point to her neck. It's and tell her that it's turning black. Um, I try to take a look at the arrow and inspect it myself also.
Lord Sorrow is holding on to the arrow, and apologizes. Sorry, young lady. Uh,
Dawn will just shake her head and kind of wave the apology away
okay.
while she makes like hacking noises.
I promise,
Uh,
if you can rid me of this curse, he looks to both of you. Yeah? He
oh,
says, I will gladly reward you in any way possible. I do not wish to die here, they
uh,
say, unto this single arrow.
I look back at Kat. I'm like, I does he understand that we're talking Shadowlands between each other
Yep.
instead of Imperial? He understands.
It seems like he registers Shadowlands. If you guys talk it to each other, he probably starts talking it as well.
I look to her and I'm like, this is a curse. What were you planning on trying to do?
Pull the magic and put it into another object.
What was the object that you were thinking of putting it into?
Perhaps another arrow?
Lord Sorrow says, that sounds like a brilliant idea. Although, I warn you, the the archer that shot me told me that that anything short of a sacrifice wouldn't work to remove this arrow. I don't know if that helps you.
I look at him and back at her. Were you planning on incanting it or planning on doing something else?
I don't know. I I haven't encountered anything like this before. I could try enchanting. I don't know if it'll work. And if it is already, and she kind of like gestures to her throat, marked me.
Mm,
I don't know what the.
can you feel it?
John, so when you like look at the scar, you can tell that it's like an essence scar. It's not something that will basically the damage has been done. You don't think it's going to get
Yeah,
any better or worse.
it's a. I inform her it's only an essence scar. You should be able to heal up if you don't do that. Do I take the risk?
Cat, an essence scar is essentially like you manipulated an essence, but it wasn't manipulated properly, so it like backfires.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. It's not like an actual attack. You think that you just couldn't manipulate it properly.
So here's the thing. You gave me back my voice, right?
Mhm.
What if I use that as a sacrifice? to lose my voice.
Oh, for reference, cat, you're in your human form, but in your cat form, that blackened skin in your human form turns into a white fur patch.
Okay.
Is it like a crescent moon?
Huh? No, it's just
Like a
just
crescent moon
a
white?
little splotch. By the way, this is not a rushed thing. Lord Sorrow informs y'all that he's been like this for like 4 days already. He's fairly certain if he pulls it out, he dies. But he's of perfect health otherwise.
No
Yeah.
cause.
He's sure that if anyone damages it, it will kill him as well.
Song will just say, I don't know if my plan will work, and I don't know if I can manipulate it properly, but perhaps because it is in an arrow, if we trick it somehow into going into another arrow, then she just kind of trails off.
Lord Sorrow, who is clearly not knowledgeable about anything magic, cat is nodding in agreement with you. Oh, yes, of
Kind of
course.
looking at John when she's saying this.
I'm thinking, and I'm like, it somewhat makes sense, but is it etched into the wood?
Yeah, you look towards the arrow, John. You can tell that the enchantment is not only in the wood, but it you think that it's strongest in the actual point, and the point of the arrow is made of steel. It's like embedded in between him and the stone.
It requires a sacrifice to be taken out. What was the exact words he said?
Lord Sorrow can't for the life remember. He says, "The archer simply told me that the arrow will kill." And it's presumed to me, but a sacrifice might get me out. Not that I would ever dream of sacrificing somebody, but I don't know how else to deal with this. I'm glad that you two seem to be capable in magic affairs. Perhaps you can get me out of this just yet.
We're trying to think of the best way. I can't make any promises, but this is the best we can do.
If I were to perish, please guide my people out of here, towards the south into the Sky Mountains, preferably.
You want to abandon Castle Sorrow?
I'm afraid that my men won't be able to hold it without me.
There's a lot of things you and I need to talk about once we get this all straight, because I think we have a possibility of keeping things and moving forward with this castle.
He looks at you curiously.
But we're gonna worry about that later. Right now, let's focus on figuring out this arrow.
Please.
I start rubbing my forehead and trying to think. Wisdom check.
You can see him trying to stretch, Cat, and you can tell that he has a lot of tiredness in his eyes. He hasn't been able to sleep since he's been stabbed, you think.
On the trek here, are the woods very different from kind of my lands, or
It's still
would
the
some of
Shadowlands in
same
general.
Herbs. She'll say, it might not help with your current predicament, but I might be able to make you a sleeping draught.
You can force me to sleep. That might be easier than me lying awake holding this thing.
And that'll buy us a little bit more time to figure out.
Yeah, she'll just kind of look at John and say, I'll go forage. Just maybe tell the men to keep an eye out for me and to let me back in.
Yeah, I make sure that when she's leaving, that I let the guy that was guarding, that was kind of giving us problems, like, hey, she needs to be able to come back safely. Please let her back in. She needs to get herbs.
You're telling who that? One of the scouts on the hills?
One of the guys that was outside the tent.
The lieutenant?
Was, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you go up to the lieutenant and you say what?
Hey, I need her to be able to come back into this camp. Just make sure your men know not to attack her.
No, not to attack a little girl. What do you think my men are? Where are you going, little lady?
She'll just say in Shadowlands, to the forest to find herbs to help him sleep.
Sorry, my Shadowland's a little rusty. Hey,
I'll translate for you.
She'll pick up the word sleep and say, sleep.
I'm afraid you will take a permanent little dirt nap if you go out there on your own. He does a loud whistle. And you see like a crew of soldiers come over. They look exhausted, but they follow his order anyway. Go with her. Make sure she comes back safely. They all come tag along with you, Cat. They guard you tentatively. You search for your herbs. Do you remember where it's found?
Somewhere, I think.
Huh?
Grovewood flower? Or was there another one? Wildflowers. Yeah, they grow in the wild places in high concentrations, so I would move probably fairly far away from the road to begin searching.
Isn't it growing near water mostly?
I don't have anything listed for this, I don't think. Maybe I forgot to write it down. Hang on. Sleeping. Oh, yeah, pockets of water essence. You're right. Yeah. So towards the river?
Yep. Okay, so you head to the forest near the river. After like a day or so, you would come back with said herb. You found it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm having my character have a wisdom check and like think of possibilities of what and or how to bypass this curse.
Sure. Tell me how you experiment. Kat, you do come back with before nightfall, just before nightfall.
I don't know where I keep getting sacrifice from.
You don't know where you keep getting sacrifice from? What are you talking about?
Yeah, for some reason I keep thinking he said there was this.
Yeah,
sacrifice
that
has to be made.
the ultimatum thing that he gave, that the archer gave Lord Sorrow, was essentially that sacrifice has to be made if he wishes not to die to this arrow. And Lord Sorrow hasn't removed the arrow because it supposedly will kill him. There seems to be, it's like a dark enchanted arrow, right? With what looks like black essence. Kat's attempted to manipulate that essence in the enchanted arrow and received an essence scar from it. Those are all the known facts at the moment.
Be a really powerful curse on a sword.
Why are we thinking about more applications of the...
I'm sorry. You know me. It's like when I hear something new, it's like I need a.
So, Kat, you return and you see that he's just sitting there in thought, like, Indian style, just looking at this enchanted arrow. Lord Sorrow's at this point kind of like just nodding off, and you come in with your sleeping potion and knock him the fuck out.
Yeah. I'm like, so kind of apologize for it taking so long, but she had to travel quite a distance to find the required herbs.
He's thankful. He's thankful for the sleep. And like instructs somebody to give you a thing if he actually successfully falls asleep. So they end up awarding you with the Medallion of Sorrow, which is a value estimate of 35,000 value, and it's a silver medallion with sapphire crystals. If you wish to wear it, let me know. Otherwise, it's just that value estimate.
Okay, yeah, no, she's not wearing it.
Okay.
She'll look at it later, though.
What if sound like a complete idiot saying this? What if he sacrifices something important to him, like his hand or his arm?
Presumably, this is you two talking in the middle of the night, like trying to come up with this without sleep.
Yeah, because that would fulfill. What do you call it? That would fulfill the curse's requirements, right? It's either you die or you sacrifice something.
The soldiers are rustling outside in the middle of the night. It's a lot of commotion.
Sorry, just before the kerfuffle, if John is saying, like, what if I sacrifice, like, another part of me? Sorrow is going to respond and say, I don't think another arm would be the same as a life.
For him, he's a warrior, right? If he loses his arm, he loses his warriorhood, which is very important to him.
Perhaps she's not convinced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your wisdom cat would agree with you.
What about his voice? If he loses his voice, sacrifices his voice for Uh,
No, a part of me feels like it would be a life for a life.
don't even know what wood this is made out of, let alone the metal.
What woods are you familiar with? You might know it.
Oh wait, I might have actually played with the wood at least once. Shadowwood?
Yep.
Okay.
Shadow
So
fern
it's
tree.
Shadowwood.
Mhm.
Yep, Shadow Fern Tree. Okay, that rings a bell. And then the metal, I'm I'm just terrible with metals. What color is it?
No, you can't really see the arrow tip so much, but you know that the concentration of power is mostly there, right? You can sense it through the ground and the armor and all in him, right? Kat, you sense it as well, by the way.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
Um,
should we check what's going on out there?
yeah.
Just for added flavor, Kat, you can see the arrow, the way that you see the enchantment, it's kind of like these like shadowy tendrils that are kind of grappling him all over. You can see it like chaotically strapping him essentially. So when you went to like manipulate it, one of the straps came to you and like struck you. That's why you think it attacked you.
Okay.
But John doesn't see it the same way you do.
Okay.
You said you go outside?
Yeah.
Take a peek.
All right, so you guys go outside. You can see a bunch of torches out. A lot of the people are kind of like in rush. They're gathering. One of the people come over to you and say, "Hey, there's these zealots. They're coming around, attacking some of our parties not too far out from here. You want to come with us? We're looking for all men available."
Um, gather everyone. We're getting out of here.
He kind of blank stares at you. Sorry.
I am getting Lord Sorrow out. You got 10 minutes before I take him and everyone that is right here at this tent back to the camp. Or back to the castle, I'm sorry.
He kind of looks wide eyed. He goes, who are you to make that decision? What Sora hasn't sounded a retreat?
The Master of Scrolls says. I point at myself.
He shakes his head.
Your lord
We're
is
dealing
about
with
to be in
zealots.
danger. But your lord is about to be in danger, right?
Our Lord
Our
is
Lord.
stricken with sickness and cannot move from his tent. I don't understand how you expect to move him, but you don't even have the command to retreat us without his aid anyway. He kind of like moves along like in a
Who's the
rush.
lieutenant? I need the lieutenant.
You like run up to the main camp. The lieutenant's no longer like sitting there in front of the tent. You'd have to go looking for him, is what I'm telling you.
Hey, Kat, we need to find that lieutenant and get him to get all the non-zealot people. We need a portal out.
Why?
This is about to become a bloodbath. You saw all those people that we walked past, right?
Yes.
And we heard of possible people that have defected from the military, right?
You had mentioned something. I don't really know what it means.
That means some of these military guys are about to turn on their own.
Wouldn't it be better to fight them here in this camp rather than on the road?
I'm saying we're gonna portal them out. Or portal Lord Sorrow out, and us, and whoever the lieutenant deems safe.
Does Song think that the Lord Sorrow can be moved?
Nope, he's pinned by the arrow. You'd have to
Into
solve the enchanted arrow problem before you could ever move him.
He's
She'll
pinned
say
in.
that we can't move him. We don't know how to.
Perception
end
SS
this.
rewarded the cat along with lesser wisdom.
Alright. I am literally about to. Oh, fuck! If I sacrifice my voice, then no one will understand you. Shoot.
I don't think that it's enough. It'll have to be a life for a life. Your voice is not worth a life.
His voice.
Upgrade the lesser wisdom to moderate wisdom.
But but I value my voice a lot.
Oh shit.
Like, I'm expecting your potions not to work to fix my voice if I do that. So that's why I'm thinking it would fulfill the requirements of the curse.
It's not what you think would fulfill the curse, it's what the curse needs to be fulfilled. Not everyone else would hold your voice to the same tier as you.
A lot of the soldiers are leaving the camp now.
To go fight
The zealots.
Okay.
Let's get back in the tent and do whatever we're gonna do. Because we're on a very tight thing. Is there another arrow that is made of shadow fern?
Not that you can see. The arrow that it's stricken him is the only one in the tent.
Do I... Sorry, I still am trying to figure out the magic.
You're good.
Because
Take your time.
it's all new to me. Does she think using her essence on, like, does she think that her essence can overpower the essence that's on the arrow, basically?
She's not sure, but you're willing to try, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can always ask
think
John. He might know.
She has this idea, so she'll mention, like, she'll ask John if I was, because is she familiar with Shadowfern Wood? Is it a tree that grows?
Yeah, you're familiar with the tree. You've never named it before.
Okay.
But he
Yeah,
like
she
describes to you
probably-
Shadow Fern, and you would have recognized it.
Okay. So she will ask John if I take my essence and fill the arrow, will it shove the other essence out?
I have never heard of someone trying to do something like that. Typically, when people see curses, they stay the hell away from it, or they already know how to handle it.
Do you want him to live?
Yes.
What do you think would happen?
Well, the essence, if you do that, the essence needs a new vessel, right? So,
Can you manipulate the essence in this? It seems to be opposed to mine. Which is why I think that perhaps me shoving it out would work, but the essence would have to be contained and put into something else. Perhaps another weapon of some kind.
like a sword. No, just kidding. What do we have in the tent as a possible thing for a vessel?
The Lord has various
Oh.
things all around him.
Okay. Cat. Let me see that amulet that you just got from Lord Sorrow.
Calling me a cat is very rude, by the way.
I'm sorry. I'm calling you in
My
person.
name is Song.
Song. I'm sorry. Ah,
I know I
love
resemble
it.
one.
I love it. Yeah, it makes me
It's like
feel
calling
terrible.
the little cat girl cat all the time. She's like, that's not my name.
What? That's mean. That's extra racist. Unintentionally.
She'll hold out the medallion.
I inspect it to see if it's possible suitable vessel for the curse.
You have no idea.
Does it look like it can hold essence?
I mean, no.
Awesome. Forget that idea.
Not any more than anything else in the room. You okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out here because a little DM made. Um, enchanted objects are made when the core is sacrificed and instilled deeply into another object. It's supposed to be a permanent sacrifice. Therefore, the enchanted object, like in this arrow's case, it's instilled very heavily, right? So it's basically part of that object. It's very, very hard to get rid of. If you are going to get rid of it, you need to destroy the object. But in this instance, if you destroy the object, you will activate the curse and therefore kill Lord Sorrow. That's the assumption. So this is one of those enchanted objects you cannot tamper. Enchanting 101.
Enchanting 101.
With Michelle.
This is all information
what?
John's already heard. For some reason, can't remember. But this would be Kat's first time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if your potion works if someone like recently died?
You want to experiment with his life on the line?
It sounds like the only thing we have as an option right here, because the only other idea I can think of is maybe I can look at my spell list and possibly try to disintegrate the arrow by destroying it, and then you give him a potion to heal the bullet hole that I'm making.
The curse still remain if the item imbuing it is destroyed?
The assumption is that if the arrow is released or broken, that it would activate.
Could you not just destroy the essence? I feel like it would require a sacrifice, but a sacrifice of more core energy than was made to you or was used to make it. Does that make sense? I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants here, by the way.
Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be. That's what my game is.
Yep. Get used to it.
Yeah. If you use enough essence so that it's more than was used to create the object, would that not?
So, Kat, we're gonna assume that this arrow is at 100% capacity for essence.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it wasn't, we'll say it's 80% capacity of essence. You could maybe backfill that arrow with 20% of your essence. That would be like best case scenario. You got some essence in there, but there's no getting that essence out without being able to manipulate the essence. In theory, you can't manipulate any enchanted essence if it's already been vested into the object, which this essence has been. Until you destroy the object, right?
Stupid question.
Mm-hmm.
It says it was he will die if he removes the arrow.
The thought is that if he breaks the arrow or removes it, then it activates and he dies.
Does Song
if
think
someone else removes it?
You don't know what happens then.
Does Song
Like,
think that
it's
her
logic.
potion can bring back somebody who just died?
Sorry?
Does Song think that her potion can bring back somebody who just died?
It's possible, assuming that you give it to them fast enough. Actually, your character would believe thoroughly that it would revive people, period. So long as their flesh hasn't literally decayed on them. Probably would be where you draw the line.
No zombies. Got it.
Yep.
If you are willing to risk his life, it should work, but I can't guarantee it.
John's just like, science!
No, I want this guy to live.
We're going through John's good man arc, apparently. He's a good guy.
I'm always the good guy. It's just science.
It doesn't sound like whatever.
Let's not get too bogged down. Are we doing it or are we not doing it?
If you have any other ideas,
He did
now
give
is the
permission.
time.
I think the only thing I can do is, well, Michelle, do I notice when I marked my soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Davos. Did he seem like he had more life and energy in him than before?
His vitality has been increasing. Yes.
Do I think that would also increase his chances? Wisdom check on that.
You're so desperate to mark people, you're just gonna start marking people.
No, I'm not. I really am
who
not.
are on their deathbed, unconscious, unable to refuse.
No. Oh, God. Now you say it that way, I feel even worse.
Don't influence his decisions by laughing at them.
I'm allowed to laugh. They know that me laughing has nothing to do with that.
No, it means it's a terrible idea.
What?
He's a sneaky snake.
No, I'm laughing independent from this decision. It's funny to me.
I don't know. It feels like a sneaky snake laugh. I was gonna say.
It is a sneaky snake. You better leave this in and better not be edited out. Before you know it, we'll be on a boat.
I'm laughing at the fact that he's willing to. His first thought is to fucking essentially magically rape this guy. That's what I'm laughing at.
Not my first thought.
I'm not laughing at the actual idea at all.
Fair. Okay.
This is not my first idea. I've been trying to figure out. Okay, maybe
while you grapple with that, I'm gonna go grab a beverage. I mean, if she knows that essence imbued by enchanting an object can't be manipulated after giving it a try once, then probably no.
Okay. I mean, yeah, your
she'll-
character has been learning the enchanting knowledge off of John, right?
Mhm.
You guys have just been sitting there like talking back and forth essentially in game. So you're saying you have zero ideas, like you're just spent.
I mean, if she feels like she doesn't have a ton of experience with curses other than the fact that like her family is cursed, right?
Mm-hmm, correct.
She doesn't know anything about it other than the fact that like now John has told her that it was a naiad or a god.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this instance though, you're hearing it's from a man with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously not a godly figure typically.
No. But she hasn't like done any. Like she has never cursed anyone. She doesn't really know how they work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that she would like inspect the arrow thoroughly, inspect like how the tendrils move and what exactly they do, and then
so you see that they like as they like approach the arrow, they like reach for living being, you in this instance. If you get John to like walk around similarly, they'll like follow him as well.
So is it then assumed that like if we destroy the arrow and he dies, the curse will still exist?
Yeah, you suspect so. You suspect that the arrow's enchantment is stronger than a single kill. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if we destroy the arrow, this essence will still exist here? Or if we destroy the arrow and it does what it's been commanded, will the essence cease to exist?
So the essence itself is more than the single kill. If you're to destroy the arrow, you suspect it would activate, right? Because that's what the ranger said it would happen anyway.
Yeah.
So if you destroy the arrow, you could, in theory, collect the
back.
essence after the fact. But it would likely kill Lord Sorrow, right? Either way.
Mm-hmm.
But you could recover the essence. That is interesting, yes.
I'm back.
So recovering the essence, but also, like, does she think that after Lord Sorrow dies and the essence is... How fast would it be to collect the essence? Because if she brings him back, will it just kill him again? That's also something she's thinking of.
Oh, okay. So you destroy the arrow, it activates, kills Lord Sorrow. You pull the arrow out? No, you destroy the... Okay, so you collect the essence, and then once you've collected the essence, you then revive Lord Sorrow. You think it wouldn't kill him again at that point.
But if we didn't collect the essence, it would.
You have no idea what would happen at that point. Because that's like random essence in the world, right? Non-collected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hang on.
that reacts very violently usually, in your experience.
In my experience, or in John's?
No, like when you were learning how to use your power, you were like flailing around essence everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Essentially, yeah, it's very very
yeah, yeah.
violent, very dangerous. Not necessarily. Yours was dangerous if you just like put it all in one area. It would like cause violent growths.
Does she have any idea on how to collect this essence in a way that is both uh, quick and safe?
Well, you suspect since Shadowfern was able to cage it the first time, it might be able to successfully do so another time. You could also like just break the arrow more systematically. You think so as to leave the power in its sheathed form?
I'm sorry. I'm back.
Okay.
What if we make this essence into a core? No, that would just kill him. Or would it?
So, Song thinks that if we destroy the arrow, we can perhaps collect the essence in another object that is made of a similar material, or more shadow fern wood. I think that's what she thinks, correct, Michelle?
Yeah, you could potentially store. I mean, it seems like it stores in Shadowfern, so that's like the obvious go-to.
Mm-hmm. And that once it has killed him and we collect it, we can revive him using her potion.
Okay. Where
So
are we
she
going
kind
to
of
collect it to? The same arrow? So we reload it?
Is that an option?
Yeah, like I mentioned to you earlier, you think if you systematically break the arrow, you could just take it apart in pieces.
And the curse would remain within?
The curse would deactivate in theory because the arrow as a whole is an implement, right? But in pieces, it's just like you could, in theory, view it as like battery cells.
Okay.
Incomplete implement.
As long as it's never put back together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah. She'll explain all of this to Dawn. Again, just like clarifying. I don't know if it'll work. We could just kill him.
Breaking apart the arrow is a theorized activation type for this implement.
I think, to be honest, pull it out, and as terrible as this sounds, let him die. Once it's fully out, revive him. That's the most clean, straightforward. After we've pulled the essence back out of him into the arrow again.
Wait, what?
So, pull the arrow out. He dies. The arrow's fully out. We pull the essence out of his body before we revive him, back into the arrow, and then revive him with your potion. So.
Wait, okay, hold on. Sorry, I keep losing you because I'm like blanking. You said you pull out the arrow and then.
I'm saying this is what I suggest we do. We pull the arrow out.
Right.
Which causes him to die.
Mm-hmm.
We then pull the essence out of his body that killed him. And put it back into the arrow.
That's where I'm getting lost. All right, so there's no arrow. There's no essence inside his body. That's not in the arrow.
Well, I'm saying once the arrow is activated by being pulled out, it's going to.
There is no essence inside his body in theory. After you pull it out, if you pull it out, the only reason why there's essence, we're talking about essence, is because we were originally talking about destroying the arrow while it was in him.
Mostly, we want to make sure that there's no essence left behind in this area, because loose essence is bad.
It's now morning time.
Also,
gosh,
isn't outside like shit going on? Like people have been fighting.
No, they marched off. You haven't actually heard. They haven't been close enough to hear the fighting.
Okay.
But it is morning now. Someone like comes in to check on Lord Sorrow. He like sits with him for a little bit and then walks out.
It's up to you. We either do this or he can't be moved.
So pull out the arrow. That's our goal.
Pull out the arrow in pieces.
But once we
And
take it apart, or once we tamper with it, it's gonna
Michelle,
activate.
can you
Right?
just clarify for
Mhm.
him and for me?
What's up?
Yeah.
Clarify
Just
what?
clarify what I was talking to you about and what Song said that would work.
Okay. So Kat was mostly worried about the expunging of the essence if she were to literally break the arrow in him and then remove the arrow pieces and restore the arrow. Store the arrow's essence into something else so that it's not free floating, right? So she originally she intended to essentially create a totem that could absorb the essence after the arrow was destroyed in him, which would have killed him, and then after the essence has been stored, to resurrect him with her resurrection portal, with her super heal potion, and then in theory he would revive with no death essence arrow thing in him, and he should be fine. But now she's realizing that she could probably just take apart the arrow, and that would be good enough. She doesn't have to create a totem.
Because the essence is still imbued into the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. As long as we.
I do it.
All right. I was about to say.
Kat, you do what now?
I do what I said I was going to do.
Which is?
So I'll take it apart in pieces, let him die, and then revive him.
Oh, it's a sad day. Oh, it's a sad day. Kat, you go to like take off the feathering and then you faint. John, you realize that the magic that's affecting the death blow is at this point stagnated between her and Lord Sorrow. But it hasn't made a decision, so they're both unconscious. Neither will awaken. You have this moment to like decide who lives and dies. You think it's fleeting, like it's fast. It's gonna just kill both of them if you don't decide fast enough.
All right. Ay. Save song.
All right. You weave the remainder of the energies around and manage to get it to choose one over the other. Lord Sorrow perishes. Seconds later, Kat begins to awaken. Kat, you felt a plunge into darkness, like a straight black abyss. You felt nothing but cold. And then suddenly you awaken back in the Shadowlands.
And is that me just directing the essence, or?
Basically, there was like a gathering of essence on one or the other, and you basically like forced it to choose one over the other.
Okay.
So, as soon as she awakens, she'll like scramble to her feet and like reach for her like big healing potion and just like shove it down his throat.
You remove the arrow?
Yeah. Remove the arrow first.
Kat?
Mm-hmm.
You remove the arrow before doing so, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. The arrow is removed safely. John, it requires your aid to pull it out of the stone, but you guys do so together, and then Kat would presumably give the health potion to Lord Sorrow. Lord Sorrow's body restores, but he is not there.
Okay.
It is worth noting, Kat. John eventually clarifies that you had died for about 5 minutes or so.
Oh.
So it was a larger period of time than you realize elapsed.
Is it blinking? Is Lord Sorrow blinking?
Blinking? No, but he is breathing. His vessel is breathing.
Okay, so we have two possible things that are going to happen here. Either A, he's going to be a undead, or B, his soul will come back to its vessel. So, do you know anything on possible ways of pulling his soul back?
John's like, I know you're new, but I'd like you to solve all my problems.
No. I'm laying it out real. I'm not.
That's funny. Kat, you can see that so when I refer to the vessel, I'm referring to the body, right? The physical
Yeah.
thing. All right, so his vessel is alive, but nothing in him is awake. Like his mind isn't awake, and he doesn't seem to be there spiritually either.
Okay.
Um, but you did keep his body alive for whatever victory that is.
Not much of one.
Mm-mm. You're when you look at the arrow, Cat, you can see like the this alternate color that's not the black essence. It kind of is like seeping into the metal.
Okay. What color is it?
It's a like a silvery blue.
All right.
She's going to search for like a piece of fabric or something to wrap the arrow in so she's no longer touching it.
Yeah, you do so.
And
You can still feel its power through the fabric.
yeah, for sure. She just didn't want it touching her.
What is inscribed on the metal piece?
You didn't get to see.
If you ask to see it, she'll
Yeah.
hand it to you. She just didn't want
Song,
it.
may I see the arrow tip?
Here, take it.
Okay, she gives you the whole arrow wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
I inspect it.
Okay. You undo the wrappings. You're being careful, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. You can see that the inscription is that seems to be in some kind of demon tongue, presumably.
Okay.
Or it's like very satanic looking anyway.
Can I get a gist of what this part of the enchantment is?
Demons. demon. I don't know. I don't even know how you would interpret it. Scary, don't mess with shit.
Alright. Hear me out. Song. So we have a body here with no soul. And we have an arrowhead with a soul in it. Here's our second dilemma. Back to back. We either A, find a way of destroying this arrowhead to possibly release the soul so it can go back to its vessel, its original vessel, or B, stab the arrowhead back into the body and hope that the soul is able to control the body and Lord Sorrow be back.
Cat, what's
Does that sound to her? Like, is that sound reasoning?
It's hard to know without the like precise knowledge of the enchantment, but assuming that the arrows took the soul, which I don't know if you believe that, it could be reasonable, but it just brings you back to square one, right? It doesn't really solve anything.
But the arrow is broken apart, right? It's taken apart.
No, the arrow is full complete. She went to fuck with one of the feathers, and that's what got her into that paralysis, and then you guys took it out safely after she awoke again with Lord Sorrow's
Yeah, but it's
death.
still whole.
Yeah.
So
is it still full of essence for a curse?
It's an enchantment. Yeah, so it's still full of its power. Just to reiterate, enchantments are permanent sacrifices of power. So even if this thing used some of its power, it would still feel powerful. It wouldn't use it permanently, right? It would use it. It would use it in restore, presumably.
Can the head be removed from the arrow shaft?
Yeah, you can undo the binding.
We undo the binding.
Do they contain the separate kinds of essence, or does the black essence seem to go into the head of the arrow as well?
The black essence exists in the arrowhead as well. It's
okay.
You can't get the read like John can, but John's expressed that the arrowhead has more of it. But you don't feel that difference, Kat. The whole arrow feels powerful to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can help you with this. I feel that it's your decision.
All right.
But you guys have acquired the Black Arrow of Death.
Da-da-da.
And
Yay.
in theory, it doesn't matter who does it, right? Whatever this thing pierces is cursed to death. Do you think is how it works, more or less?
You can have that as long as you promise not to use it on my character.
Knowing me, I'll probably trip on it and fall on it myself.
No, John, your character is really careful. It's very unlikely to cut itself.
Mm.
Unless you were, like, delirious.
Well,
Have I mentioned it? You're getting tired? I'm kidding,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Michelle over here.
I'm
just trying to
kidding,
kill
I'm kidding,
everyone's
I'm
characters
kidding.
today.
It's a joke. It's
Just trying to kill everyone's characters today. It's fine.
oh, so someone else's character died today? Tell me what happened.
Cat did just go
Not
near
really.
death.
What?
Cat did just go near death, so.
I mean, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
If you had chosen Sorrow, my character would have died.
Correct.
Yeah.
But John's a good ally and didn't kill off his
That's a
player
nice
teammate.
trust exercise right there.
Unintentional.
The worst kind of trust fall, okay?
Hey,
Worst kind.
it
Um,
had a positive direction.
So we have this healthy body of the Lord.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Which can technically be portaled now. Comes to Cat's mind.
Yes, we should leave.
So
How far away from the castle are we? Like, journey-wise?
Probably like this was roughly like 6-7 hours.
Okay. So Song is literally just like, do I want to walk rather than go through a portal and potentially shit myself?
the more you do it, the easier it gets. And if you're planning on hanging around me, you want it to get easier sooner rather than later. Because last
easy
thing
to
you
say
need to
when
be
you don't have to clean shit out of fur.
Is that what we're doing? Are we bailing?
Let's bail, be safe, and figure out.
And Cat, your wisdom would say carry human male or human male adult, excuse me, or go through portal with human male adult.
Wait, what's the first part of that?
Carry human male, 7 hours on foot, or carry human male through portal.
Oh, no. She's like, Jonathan can carry him through the portal and I'll fucking walk back.
Oh, okay. You're feeling spicy going back along the road on your own as a little girl.
She has another shape change, so she could change into,
little
a
boy.
forest cat.
A
forest cat, or a wolf, like a small coyote, something,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Betray the feline line that you have. Go canine.
No, she'll go through the portal.
Okay.
But it's a close one in her mind. She's like,
Yeah.
I could just walk by myself. It would be fine.
Is that what we're doing, John? Are we portaling?
Yep.
Okay. Are you alerting the remaining camp? Are we abandoning the Zealot fight? I assume you are.
I am alerting the current camp and let them figure that out.
Okay.
Tell them that
A few of the soldiers volunteer to head
10
back home.
minutes. They got 10 minutes until I am bringing us home.
All right. You see the camp kind of like scatter around and start packing. Kat, from what you can tell, John's just like indiscriminately abandoning the people who went off to fight.
I gave fair warning 10 minutes.
That's not enough time for them.
If we give any more time than that, then the zealots will try to blend in. Is my thought process.
Song knows nothing of this, so she's gonna, I don't know, fucking...
You're just going along with it? I don't care that much.
Can I roll something?
What do you mean roll something? What?
Do you want to go out there and warn?
Wait, what are you trying to roll, Kat? What?
Yeah.
Like, does she think that this is the best idea? Like, does he explain to her what these zealots are or what's going on with it? Like,
He doesn't know.
All I know is the zealots are going to be attacking the soldiers, right?
That's what he thinks. Yep.
but who are the zealots and why are they attacking?
Formal soldiers that got fed up and the betrayed Lord Sorrow.
I mean, I very well then. I guess we should leave. But shouldn't some men be sent to the ones who are fighting to give them notice that there is nobody to watch their backs? Won't abandoning them just make more soldiers join
You're right.
this
You're
other
right.
side?
I like
Touche.
it.
Once 10 minutes has come up, if the lieutenant isn't there, I make sure that we inform the lieutenant, like, hey, we are leaving. Get the rest of your men.
The lieutenant's gone.
Like gone, even after 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's one of the ones who went to fight the zealots. He led that party.
Oh. Wait
How
a
long
minute.
ago was that?
Yesterday night. About so like
We haven't slept either.
yeah,
We're
so
not making good decisions.
roughly like 9 hours ago, I guess. But that's wrong. More like 14 hours ago.
Are there scouts nearby? Like, are
Yeah.
the camp scouts still here?
I try to gather as much information on where the lieutenant is.
It's mostly the like injured soldiers that are still here. So the scouts would have likely not been the injured ones. Why are you trying to approach a soldier? You said yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You approach one of the soldiers. Do you approach one that looks less imperially so that you can talk freely?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go up to a man with shadowy.
One that smells like the Shadowlands.
Oh, there you go. Even better. Yeah. You go up to a man. You sniff him. He definitely smells like Shadowlands material.
Okay.
He looks to you.
Do you know where the lieutenant went?
He responds to you in Shadowlands. He says, hello there. The lieutenant. Yeah, he went to fight the zealots.
Do you know where? We're taking the Lord Sorrow back to the keep.
You managed to free him of his arrow.
In a way, we at least can move him now. I don't know if we managed to save him or not yet.
Well, if Lord Sorrow can't command a retreat, then we must wait for the lieutenants. He looks around.
Should we not
He goes, do you have
should
any
we
idea
not
why
take
everyone's
your
running around?
wounded?
Oh, I mean, we're safest here in camp. Better than taking our chances on the road.
She'll kind of briefly explain Keeper of Scrolls and portals.
Interesting. He scratches the back of his head. You said this magic is not from an abysmal?
Do I know what that word means?
Alternate race, maybe?
She's unsure.
Take me to him.
Okay. And she does.
Okay. John, a man approaches you. He pulls out his sword. You can hear it. Shh. You there! Why are you using forbidden magics?
Hold up. First off, Lord Sorrow actually gave me permission. So I put my hands up and I'm like, let's calm it down right
He
now.
looks at Lord Sorrow, who's just collapsed on the floor. You're telling me he gave you permission, and that's why he lies there as though dead.
He's not dead. He's breathing, as you can see. We got the arrow out, but we have to make sure that his soul is able to come back to the body. Right now,
You've cast out his soul, witch?
No! The arrow did!
He goes into like an attack pose, Kat. You're like kind of behind him to the left.
She's gonna sigh and take out the small throwable thing of sleeping draught that she has.
Mm-hmm.
And throw it at him.
It just hits him across the back of the head. Like a little blue powder sprays around. He like sniffs some of it by accident. Falls unconscious.
She's going to kind of glare at John and say, "A warning would have been nice about what is not allowed in these lands."
I'm still figuring out myself. I'm sorry.
And John's like midway casting his portal, and the blue light is just glowing around the camp. All the different little mini portals start appearing around camp as well. Everyone's suddenly like, "What? Magic? From where?" They start looking around.
Wait, I made multiple portals?
No, remember you chose an aesthetic to have it like super portally.
Oh.
Really inconspicuous. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Note self.
You close it up, John.
Self. No, it's open. I ain't wasting any essence.
Oh, we're digging it. We're chilling. All right, do we escape with Lord Sorrow's body?
Yes, we escape with Lord Sorrow's body and the arrow.
All right, Kat, you can see him like trying to sneak away. He's like dragging Lord Sorrow. Ugh! Ugh! It's slowly portaling through.
I'm like 3 feet tall. I can't help him.
You pick up like a single arm. I don't know, a hand. I'm helping.
Yes.
I'm totally helping. All right, you go through.
Yeah. She's not impressed with this whole situation.
You and me both.
You guys portal into. John was expecting to portal, I guess, to an open pavilion. So you guys are just like portaling into a galleys. Some soldiers here and there. They're like, "So, who might you be?"
Wait, we're not in the castle?
I presume you were portaling like with the intention of transporting troops. So you portaled into like a pavilion, right? Like an open space.
Oh yeah. I'm dragging Lord Sorrow through.
Yeah, you drag Lord Sorrow's lifeless corpse. It just like it like comedically like tumbles off the gallows.
What? No. I didn't hold on to it as we were
Song
going.
would definitely stop the Lord from falling off of the thing.
You grab onto him and like fall with it with the body, right? And you like get landed, like you land on top of him on the ground. Foul blood and the
You
Master
owe
of
me.
Scrolls have
I still
killed
look like a
Lord
girl.
Sorrow.
No,
Still
we
look like a little
didn't. We literally just escaped
True, Cat, true.
a coup d'etat.
Some archers line the walls, facing inward. Not many, right? Just like two, literally two. And then 3 soldiers come up the front. John, presumably you're closing your portal, or are you keeping it open?
10 minutes has passed, right?
10 minutes? What do you mean?
Right. When I said I was going to open the portals.
Not necessarily. Why? Why do you think it took 10 minutes?
Because I wanted to open it at 10 minutes and then...
Aha! Yeah. That's fine.
And get people through?
No, but I presume that you're bailing on that because of that soldier that tried to attack you, or no? You were waiting, and then like 7 minutes in or so, Cat would have brought in the soldier, and then you had the whole excursion. Cat knocked out the guard, and you guys went through the portal in escape motion.
I calmly, slowly deactivate the portal.
All right.
I keep a mental note on where it was open for future reference.
Okay. The soldier comes up the gallows thing, right, and grabs you. One of the soldiers like comes over in your general direction, Cat, and kind of like calls you over. Hey, little girl, come here. Come here, little girl.
She's gonna ignore him for the moment and just make sure that Lord Sorrow is okay. Like, she landed on top of him. She's gonna kind of scramble off and like check his neck and like
Yeah, he didn't break his neck or anything on the way down.
yeah.
Mhm.
She's
You make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Are you looking for ways to escape here, or are you gonna face the consequences?
I mean, in her mind, like, she's done nothing wrong except for what like was asked of her, so she's just going to point to the the Lord and look at the soldier and say, "Healed, heal."
Okay. They come on over, recognize Lord Sorrow, and end up grabbing him. John, one guy grabs you by the arm and says, "Were you using magic? What was that?"
Yes, I was using magic. Trying to be as crystal clear with you all.
What did you
Right
do to Lord
now,
Sorrow? Why is he
I
like
am
that?
trying because of the death arrow that was shot at him, which is why he was actually stuck where he was at. Bladefall Pool.
What nonsense are you
I
talking
went
about? A
there.
death arrow?
I pull out gently and calmly this
Show.
arrow,
He
and I
he grabs
show
the
him,
arrow. He says, "What do you mean it's a death arrow?" He like sees it.
if you stab someone with that or shoot someone with that, if they take it out, they will automatically die. It's cursed. Please be careful with that.
They bring you both like to a different area, right? A seating area, and then they bring over like one of the common folk that's like a little bit worse off. They hand them some silver, and then they cut him with the blade. The dude dies. So they confirmed your death arrow story.
Why are no?
And they're like,
No.
"I see that
Song
you
is
were telling
fucking
at least somewhat of the
horrified.
truth."
If you go into the library, there is a note, and I say exactly where I put it and explain to them. It says exactly XYZ. The Lord was had to rest.
Enough, Master of Scrolls. Tell us this: will he awaken, or is he like this forever?
If you do not let me try to figure out a way of saving him, no, he will not be saved. If you let me figure out something, I will try my best to try to save him. My goal was to try to save him.
The soldiers look
That
around at each other. Um, you can already tell, Kat, that these people are not friendly.
How many people are around us?
You're currently not bound. You could just make a run for it. You think that if you like darted like through the low ground areas here, like around the scaffolding, you could maybe get away.
Are we?
But
Are
how
we in the
many?
castle?
So there's three. No, you're not in. You're in, like on the castle grounds, like just
Okay.
outside the castle. And then the how many? As regards to how many? There's three soldiers that are like on foot next to y'all, more or less, along with this like commander guy in quotes, right? And then there's two archers on the wall, and presumably more guards like spread out throughout the rest of the castle, right?
Okay.
But it's like a skeleton crew, so it's very thinly guarded.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She's going to look to the commander and say, "Do you want your lord to be well?" In like broken imperial, if that's what they're speaking in.
I
Uh,
translate for her if need be.
he says, "Master of Scrolls, you've done us a service, getting all of our streets cleaned out. But I'm gonna be honest, you've brought me quite the predicament. Lord Sorrow is useless to us now, the way he is, and I have much to gain, you see, for his death. So I'm thinking that if I kill him, as it stands, which wouldn't be nothing more than putting down a rabid dog, it would benefit all of us, wouldn't it, boys?"
Where is the one holding the arrow?
He's directly across from you, like 10, 15 feet ish.
Okay. I'm not doing this, but here's what I would like to do.
Mhm.
I would like to move as fast as I can, throw a sleeping draught at the one who's holding the arrow,
Mhm.
grab the arrow and stab it into the guy who's talking about killing Lord Sorrow.
Yeah, she's going full rogue all of a sudden. All right.
If I can.
Um. So there is a guard that's to your left. You'd have to swagger past him. You're not sure if you can do it, but would you try?
Yeah, like she'll just walk up to, like, walk towards the one holding the arrow. She's a little girl. She's non-threatening.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Once
so
she gets close enough, like, to absolutely not miss, like, she would be just outside of the kind of area of effect, I guess, of like she knows how.
So you do
How they
get
work.
some distance with the walk, but then you can hear the guard behind you. He says, "Halt!"
At that point, she'll huck it the
All right, you can
yeah.
hear him say "blasted" as he goes to give chase. You make a good quick ground. The guy's like reacting and goes to pull out his blade. Around that point is when you're reaching where you could like launch.
Mm-hmm.
You take the shot.
Yeah.
All right. You take the shot. You figure you're gonna trip, but you can like guarantee your chances by like kind of like lunging forward into the trip.
Yeah.
All right. You dedicate the throw, John. Are you doing anything in this time?
All right. I have archers on my back, right?
Archers on the walls, yeah.
I call out. I'm not trying to be offensive or aggressive. I'm trying to make a distraction here and say, this man here is one that is trying to cause treason. Do you really want to let your lord die because he wants power? Your lord cares for each and every one of you. He would not even sacrifice one of you to take that arrow out. That was the price that he had to pay to be able to have that removed.
Okay. When you begin your speech, Kat launches the potion. The potion splats on the man's forehead. Presumably, he's going to sleep as he's falling backwards. The man, or you trip and fall into your flat, right, your face, Kat. And the soldier grabs you on your like left leg. And begins to like drag you backwards.
I'm going to slash at his wrist with my claws.
Okay. You kind of just catch his armor. He has like a gauntlet
Sure.
on. But you catch his gauntlet a few times. He ends up like lifting you up and just kind of like letting you seesaw in the air, right? John, as you give off your speech, the guy is like thuds onto the ground. While not triumphant in your speech, it seems like everyone's just kind of like stunned as to what's happening. So they're just taking a moment. The soldier that has hold of you, Kat, says, "Stop it, or I'll stomp your life out."
Song, hang on. Let's talk this through.
She's making like angry cat noises. Like the back of her throat. That's just like a little, like she's like. "Arr."
Okay. So he kind of like drops you in front of the Master of Scrolls and says, "All right. I mean, we believe you. We love Lord Sorrow as much as any man, but what good is a useless man to us? Do you plan on leading us, Master of Scrolls?"
For the time being, until we can figure out a solution to this, which I promise you I will look for a solution.
He kind of threw you like a sack of potatoes onto the floor, Kat, in front of John.
I catch her.
You definitely do not.
She'll dust herself off and kind of like limpingly stand, and just fucking glare at the one. And she's like, in her little like imp mind, is like, I'm going to get you for this.
The same soldier that threw you walks over to the guy, the like dude who was claiming himself commander, and he just goes ahead and like live executes his ass right there. Just stab through the
we
through
played
the back.
this right. We played this right. Oh god.
And you've reclaimed control over Castle Sorrow, John. Kat, presumably you go back into your things to recover your stuff, remake your things, presumably. Yeah. And this is the end of the session. Any ending notes?
Thank you, Kat, for going through this escapade with me. I hope we've built
almost
some
got
trust.
me killed twice.
Oh goodness.
No, but she's going to. I'll put some notes in my thing after.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Can't believe we didn't die.
Yeah, you guys definitely succeeded this fucking session. Excuse me. This session is a victory session, so feel free to ask for end of session reward. Do you have
Ooh.
anything that you feel like you earned this session? Uh, the default would be, for Cat, I would I'm almost guarantee a greater wisdom off of all the random wisdom
Yes,
things you've been doing, and then
I agree with
default for John would be, let's see.
Cat. You did a lot, to be honest.
That means I have 2 greater wisdom SSs. What does that mean?
That's good.
Oh, that's really good for you.
So you can only like raw proc one stat, one of a certain stat, right? That's not really the goal. The goal is to create what we call NAs, which are named ascensions. And you need 3 greater stats, right, and a perk
Okay.
to create the minimal version of a NA. NAs are really really powerful. They're imagine them as like super traits, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So like if like,
Like-
it's hard to come up with random defaults without like giving away things. But
They're also very unique to each player. Like not every character or not every player can get the same ones. So
yeah, they're player
in mind.
exclusive once built.
yeah.
I'm fine with taking another greater wisdom. That's fine.
Mhm.
If that's what works.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can ask for anything. I'm allowing that. That would be like my default go to if you didn't were picky that session.
I don't know, something to do with essence or
You want an essence reward instead?
sure, yeah.
Okay. Any essence in particular, or
Or I'll be right back.
or just random, not generic, but random.
I have no idea what works for this style of character.
I'm okay with rewarding an essence. I'm okay with rewarding an essence SS. You won't be able to use it this lifetime anyway. Do you have an
that's
essence in
fine.
mind, like an essence for the future you'd like to try?
I have no idea because I don't know enough about any of them. So I already have one essence SS.
Well, yeah, but that's just like generic essence. That's like the stat. Likely.
Oh, okay.
Likely. It might actually just be for spawning a Saren. I'm not sure. Did we just say essence SS?
It just says essence SS, yeah.
Interesting. So that's really low powered generic stuff.
Oh, okay.
If you
Something
wanted
more Naiad related.
Oh, Naiad? Okay. So yeah, you can literally ask for Naiad SS. Or Naiad, yeah,
Okay.
Naiad SS or Naiad Essence SS.
Alright, I'm back.
So Naiad would be like more strictly like you could spawn in as a Naiad, potentially. Or
Okay.
Naiad Essence, which is a little bit less powerful, but more versatile in the sense that you can spawn in any race with that Essence type.
I'm fine with Naiad,
Okay.
if that works.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's fine.
Could I throw an idea at her?
Sure.
Since he technically died for 5 seconds, you might be able to ask for Death Essence if you ever want to play something requiring that. Or maybe
it's a cool idea, but probably not. It is
okay.
really
I'm just throwing that out there.
with my.
It's not every day you stop death.
I'm gonna give you John or default. Sorry, I'm gonna default you Guardian SS, like you as a Guardian SS. It's more or less what you did this session.
Or I can pick something different.
Yeah, you can pick something different if you want. That's my default. Normally, Kat, it helps if you have like an idea of what you want, so that you can tell me what you know. I like to reward people what they want for the most part, but if I don't know what you want, it's not clear, right?
I still don't know what I want. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I still have no idea how all of this works because I've never had to use any of the SSs before, so I'm not really,
We were very close to finding out that for you.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, goodness. I would like to make one final command, is I make sure to take hold of that death arrow so no one else has access to it except me.
Sure, you go and pick it up from the guy.
Yep. And wrap it up, make sure we're safe. So it's back in my inventory.
I like how Kat did the whole like when he randomly killed.
Yeah, I'm like, you're
some...
literally like You're handing this fucking death arrow to a non-magic user who has no ability to feel it, and like, who knows what they're gonna do with it? They could have stabbed you with it. They could have, yeah. Instead, some poor homeless bastard died. Sad.
Do you have
Very
another
sad.
potion? No, I'm just kidding. Ah, shit. That means there's 2 souls in there now.